Hello, here we go. It's the Copyright Podcast.
Morning, everyone. What's happening? How's it going? We're back for another Copyright Podcast show. Me and Kristian once again. How are we doing, Kristian? Nice and early.
Good. Cheers. I'm good.
For your excuses, you're an hour later there, so it's midday,
yeah.
isn't it?
Yeah, so you can start
Not 11.
12 o'clock, just ready to go.
Just waiting for the 12 to tick over, and you go, it's not the morning anymore.
And the missus and the daughter to be out of the door, just bye.
Yeah, just beer in your pocket ready, like, get ready.
Yeah.
But yeah, nice one, everyone. There's got a few people in. We've got JJ's in. Morning, everyone. Hope we smash these today and leave them in relegation zone where they belong. Paul says, morning all, should be a good game today. And then Mark's in as well. Nice one, Mark, saying, morning, lads and lasses. But yeah, I mean, we didn't do anything because it was obviously I turned 33, didn't I? I'm getting older. So we didn't get to do a West Ham review. So I thought we could do that now if you wanted to. Very quick before we get into the Nottingham Forest stuff. So yeah, a nice 1-0 win. It could have been a lot more, couldn't it? I think Darwin Núñez had some great chances. The chest on the volley and hitting the post with the left foot was just magic. But the first goal was lovely, wasn't it? Proper lovely stuff. The ball from Simicassin and the headed into the floor into the far corner. Yeah,
and like you said, it could have been more goals, and I would have liked another goal just to calm down a bit because you got a little bit nervy at the end. But at least with Darwin Núñez, like we said before, like he's in the right positions. He's getting more and more dangerous in front of goal. Now he scored with a great header, and he had that one in the post. I just like what he does, the movement, the runs, the technique. You can see that every game that he plays, and the more time he spent together with the team and with Klopp, he just settles more and more. So that's really good. A bit sad that he's not seemed to be involved today. But in terms of just winning 1-0, it's one of them. You just have to win them games sometimes and just actually get away with 3 points because the 3 points is what mattered in the end. So, yeah, just happy with the win, even though the second half was not as good as the first one. But, just take it.
It was scary. It was very scary. And obviously then the pen as well, which was...
Yeah.
There's been like a few people saying it was a bit of a soft pen. But I just think it's one of them, like Gomez dives in. He shouldn't really do that. And he gives Bowen a reason to go over, doesn't he? So...
Yeah,
but then Alisson Becker saves us. What a guy he is! Best in the world by a long way, isn't he?
Yeah, and it's a great save, but it's also, to be honest, when I watch it back, it's not the greatest of penalties as it's in the goal. It's in the goalkeeper height. Like if he goes the right way, like he does, he saves it because that's the perfect height for a goalkeeper, just to be able to stretch out like that in that height.
Yeah.
So not taking any away from the save because you still need to go there and save it. But I was just happy that I was really angry with the penalty. I felt like not again. In this situation where we will have like 1-1 and then we have to start chasing again to get the second goal to go and win it. But with that save, just happy for Alisson because, like you said, he's been brilliant for this season. And like the last couple of games, he's probably, showed that he's, top 2 in the world goalkeepers. He's brilliant.
Yeah, I think even last year he took his game to new levels. I thought, like the amount of times, obviously the high line we play, he had a lot to do, and he was saving our skin a lot of times, to be fair. So he's just continued it with that save to get us another crucial win. But JJ says, happy birthday, mate. Hope you had a boss day. I did, actually. Nice one. Mark says 33, still a pup. Yeah, if anyone's not been to York, I'd definitely encourage you to. I imagine most people have. I'm just one of them people it was on the list for a while and didn't end up going. So
I haven't.
Yeah, good. Well,
yeah,
we can go. We can go. You just need to get yourself over here, and we can. Because you're over in November,
like 3 weeks.
Yeah,
3 weeks.
Yeah. Coming to my house, the crack of dawn.
Yeah, exactly. I actually found out because I'm flying out from Stockholm like really early on the Friday morning, like 5:45 our time. So that's like 4:45 your time. But I find out that as a mate of mine actually flying on the same flight that I didn't know was going over. He's got an apartment in Liverpool, so that's he lives there, and in Sweden. But it's just nice to get a company when you're flying over, because I thought I was going to spend the whole night at the airport by myself. I could read a book and stuff. But when he said, "No, I'm flying with that flight as well," it's just come on, let's have a few pints.
Oh, so you're gonna be smashed then, aren't you?
Yeah, no, I'm going to take it a bit easy because I'm going to do a bit of work. So when I arrive,
I mean, you can pretend to do work, though, can't you?
Work.
Yeah, you can be busy working. Anyway, yeah, I'm a master at that. I think most people are. But Mark says Nunes, I imagine that's on. He's very raw, but there's something special in him, I reckon. Yeah, just watching the Liverpool tweet, like he done like a Darwin Nunes highlight reel of the West Ham game, and he's like, and then they put up like his touch map, and he was like in the left back area, closing down, winning the ball back, making runs, made the fastest sprint in the. I think the tweets that were put out was the fastest ever, but apparently it's the fastest this season. I think it was like 30. Apparently the actual speed was like 36.5 kilometers an hour or something like that, which is the fastest this season, but faster than, imagine, the amount of fast players in the league, likes of St. Maximum and all that. So yeah, he's that's just another little side show to just how raw he is, but how fast he is. And yeah, he's just got that. He's got something, hasn't he? That you just think once he's fully there, you can just imagine like the goals just flowing just so easily.
Yeah, I think the statistics says something like if he actually, I'm not doing all the numbers like you are. You are the statistic man. But I think I read somewhere that, if he was actually with his numbers now, if he continues like that, it was like 2-3 goals a game. It was kind of that much, how many, shots on target, how many chances created and all that kind of stuff. So if you, put it out like that, it would be like 2-3 goals a game in the way he plays now. Obviously, I don't think he will do that. But, if he scores 1-2 in one game and 1 in another game, or, that's absolutely perfect.
Yeah, I just can't wait. I mean, it looks like that he's not going to be involved today because Klopp said he's had like a muscle issue. Yeah. That's why he got brought off in the West Ham game. So it'll be crazy to risk him today, to be fair, even though we do want to keep seeing Nunes start games and scoring goals, because I think he would have had a lot of joy against Forest, to be fair, because I don't think they're the type of team that are going to sit back majorly. They're gonna try and want to get at us. So it is a bit of a miss not having him today, isn't it?
Yeah, it is a miss, and it's sad for him as well because he's getting, he's hitting the form because he's doing so well. But I'm just glad that we see him actually progress and scoring goals, because like we saw one, on Twitter, you're saying he was the worst signing, and he's just an Andy Carroll number 2, and people are just stupid. They must have the lowest IQ. You can have an opinion. He was on me saying, you must let people have an opinion. I said, I don't mind opinions, but I just hate bollocks. Yeah. It's just stupid talk. Like, you could say, I don't rate him. I don't think he will be that good. Okay, fair enough. That's for you. But just to say that he's shit, he will flop. He's Andy Carroll too. He won't. We were ripped off buying him. Blah blah blah. It's just, come on. He scored he already scored the same amount of goals as Andy Carroll, if you want to compare him to him, kind of. You know what I mean? Like, he's showing that he's good. He's in, like everyone says, his numbers is really good, and if he continues like this, he will turn out great. And still, people just like, this fucking hell, they just they just go and support Everton. Keep on being bitter and blue. Come on.
Yeah, that guy that I sent to the Kristian, because I was just looking through his tweets, and he was just like, Nunes, what's he doing? Worst striker ever. I was like, you can't. I mean,
you've been here 5 minutes.
You're more than entitled to. You're more than entitled to an opinion, but when it's just it's either. That's why I hate it. It's either like someone's amazing or someone's shit. Like, there's no in between. Like, how they're looking quite good, they could be amazing, but you're worried about them. That's fair enough. That's more than fair, because he is erratic and stuff. So, but Dan says Alisson is doing that goalkeeper thing and hitting his peak in their 30s, could be at the top for another 7 to 10 years. That makes me really happy just to think about that. Like, Alisson Becker just at us for the next 10 years, just being amazing.
How old is he now? Is he actually 30, or is he just below?
He just turned. Let me just check. He had his birthday recently. He's just turned 30, 2nd of October.
So perfect age now then for a goalkeeper.
So yeah, another 7 years easy. And he's like Dan says, he looks like because I think last year, he hit that was the best he's ever been for us anyway. He was just on fire, so hopefully he can continue that. And then just on the Nunes thing, Dan says, heard Pajak compare Nunes to Drogba at that age. He's also very erratic, and look what he became. Yeah, shout out Chris Pajak, what a guy. Yeah, that's very true, isn't it? Like there's players that come into the league and they just cause chaos and carnage, and they're not the polished diamond that they turn out to be in the end. But we've bought a gem there that we can mould, and I think the whole buying them the same time as Haaland, City and Liverpool reverting from like a false 9 to like a number 9, and then Haaland going on to score like 15 Premier League goals so far, and Nunes getting a red card and being out for 3. They're always going to be directly compared. Yeah. But I just feel like Nunes is something that he's a player that he can be amazing for us, can't he? He definitely can be.
Yeah,
amazing.
And he's like it is what like many have said already. He's raw material. Like Haaland is almost like already complete as a striker. You know, he's been scoring goals for like Dortmund, Leipzig. You know, and since he was in Norway as well, since he was really young, he just kept on scoring them. His numbers are great. You know, he will be one of the greatest if he continues like this. But and he will probably get better as well. But you know, he's kind of, you never know when he actually hits his best level, and if he gets injuries because he's playing with a very in a very physique kind of way, you know, he sprints and all that kind. You never know what's going to happen. He might go on and play for ages and score loads of goals, but I also think that it's a concern that Haaland might be someone who keeps on going now for a few years and then actually decline a bit, like we've seen Torres did. Other players that came up really early did as well. You never know, but I think with Darwin it's more like a smooth kind of way, hopefully now with no bad injuries. But I just think we seeing him being really good now, and hopefully it's a progress, and in a few years maybe he will hit his best level, and he will just, if he's hopefully still with us, just continue to score loads of goals.
Yeah, I just think the whole Haaland thing, I think he might go to Real Madrid or something in a few years. I saw it was only like a newspaper report saying that you can get sold in 2024 for a certain fee or something like that, which might be.
I think it was like 200 million euros or something like that, or if it was even pounds, I can't remember.
Yeah, but it'll be something mad like that, won't it?
Yeah.
But JJ says, I love the negative comments about him because he will only get better. So all our keyboard warriors will be deleting their tweet faster than Nunes speed record. Yeah. Well, I don't think people genuinely believe he was a bad signer. I just feel like because he is a bit erratic and he had the red card and he looks he's not the best technically on the ball if it's played into his feet. And it's easy pickings. You can just go, oh, look at this bad touch, look at this bad strike, look at this bad dribbling, look at these step overs. Like it's easy, especially Twitter. Like you can just clip like something that he's done. Even the goal he scored against Barcelona for Benfica, where he done the step overs and then scored, people were just clipping the step overs because it looks a bit funny, and you're just like, is that all you've got?
Yeah, people who comment on that, like saying, finding all the details, they probably never played football themselves. Like you can be really good in one club, in one environment, and you can move to another club, and it can take time because you need to settle. It's the same in every kind of profession, I would say. I can work at a place in the same kind of position and go in a position and go to another place where I work with the same kind of stuff in the same kind of position, but it takes me more time because I need to learn their routines and all that. So it's just normal that you have to settle wherever you go. Some do it quick, some players do it quicker than others. There's no worry. Just, come on. I think that JJ's a really good tweet though that I read now. I really like that one.
Yeah, I'll have to save that one for when
should tweet it.
when Darwin Nunes starts scoring loads of goals, and unfortunately it doesn't look like he'll be today, but yeah, who's put this tweet in? Hit that tweet. I've got tweets on the brain. Hit that like button. Yeah, please do hit the like button if you're watching live. But yeah, we won. We beat West Ham, thankfully. Jimmy Milner came on towards the end, and you put a tweet up on the Copy Podcast page with the Milner block, which was just amazing. It was one of those. It was similar. It reminded me straight away of when City were through and Haaland was about to head it in, and Van Dijk came in and knocked it out the path to him, and then Milner done something pretty much. It's basically a goal line save, isn't it? That what Milner did, but amazing.
Yeah. Again, we can talk about he shouldn't, play as many games that he's probably played, but when he does, still great. He's not the quickest anymore. He's never been the most technical player, but he's always doing his job and he's always professional. I just admire him for it because he's been playing at that same level since he was like 16, 17 years of age, and he's always been. He has not always been a starter for the teams he played for, but he's always been there, being involved, and done a great job for Aston Villa, Newcastle City, Liverpool, and to be at that level for so long and actually still be considered to be able to do that kind of job at the age of 36. It just says a lot about him. So when he won't play for us anymore, if that turns out to be his last season now, when he might move on to play for, say, Leeds or whatever for a year, or if he actually goes straight into some kind of position in the club where he goes into like a manager or coach role, whatever, I would just be happy, because that kind of experienced players that goes into the staff side of it, it's so it's something that you can't underestimate, really, because I think he's got so much to learn, the youngsters and stuff like that. So yeah, I'm just a very I love James Milner. I think that's the perfect pro that everyone should just look up to in football. Like, if you want to have an example, you say James Milner.
Yeah, and I think it's one of those as well, when he does like move or whatever, or if he stays and he wants to stay at us as a coach or whatever, I don't think you can put a price on like his impact in the dressing room is what I'm trying to say. Like, behind the scenes, like, just even when he's not playing, like, just getting the players ready to, and getting them to a level where they're ready for the Premier League game every week. And I don't think you can put a price on that, really. But yeah, we're getting close to past, and there is some team news floating around that isn't confirmed yet, which I think we might as well just put up, because it could be this at the bottom. I'm going to put it up now. Apparently, the team is Alisson in goal, James Milner at right back, Gomez and Van Dijk centre half, Robertson left back, Carvalho left mid, Elliott right mid, midfield two of Thiago and Fabinho, and then Bobby Firmino and Mo Salah up front, or Firmino just in behind Salah, whichever you prefer. But I think that, obviously with Núñez not being fit, I think that's as good as it can be. I mean, apart from maybe Trent in for Milner, but I think Klopp's just trying to maybe limit how much Trent's in the team, obviously being out injured and not being in the best form as well. And like I said to you before, I sent you a tweet before. Like, it's I keep saying send you a tweet. Why do I keep saying that? I sent you a message before. Twitter on the I'm spending too much time on Twitter. Sent you a message before saying that's the same team as the City game, apart from Carvalho is in for Jota, because Jota was injured, obviously.
Yeah.
What do you think of that? If that's true, we'll get confirmation in like 9 minutes. Like,
yeah, well, Jota is a big blow that he's out, but that's just the way it is. You can't do anything about it now. And Carvalho, against West Ham, I thought he was really, really good. So obviously he can do a great job. And I just really like, a young, skillful player that comes in and show that he actually wants to be involved. So obviously with the injuries, it's easy for him to get into the team. But I think that Jurgen Klopp actually looks at him and thinks like, wow, he's progressing and he's doing really good stuff on the pitch. Feels really comfortable with the ball, and can take that, actually go past a few players as well. So I really like that he's playing. I don't mind that team that you just put out there. I like it more when I see it as a 4-2-3-1.
That's why I did it for you.
Yeah, exactly. Because I just hate seeing 4-4-2. Even if we don't play it on the pitch, I just hate the old formation of 4-4-2. When you look at it, it just feels so, I don't know, like
dinosaur-y.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. I don't like it. But
Roy Hodgson.
Oh, come on. But yeah, I don't mind it. I think that will be more than enough to go to Nottingham to get the 3 points. Without saying they are at the bottom of the league, and they obviously need fighting for their points to try to climb at the table to try to survive this season, which will be hard. But at the same time, the quality that we have, and now we're kind of hitting some kind of form. We feel like we're more stable defensively and all that. I think this team has all to be able to go and do it.
Yeah, definitely. Let's go through a couple more of these comments dead quick. Pan of Scouse is in. Morning, lads. Morning, mate. Nice one for jumping in. Doug's in as well. Morning, Mick and Kristian. Cristiano Ronaldo.
Oh, nah. Don't have that.
Yeah, so I'm happy with that team. To be fair, I'm more than happy. Like you said, Carvalho looks really good when he's came off the bench. Even when he's just swapped like for Elliot, means Henderson and Trent are both on the bench. At least you've got people. I think I quite like people that you've got people on the bench that you can bring on and at least change the function of the game. If we need Trent's ability to get us a goal, if we need it, we can bring him on. Even bring him on for, I don't know. You could even bring him on for Elliot if you want, and just like we did against City. I think we brought Trent on for Elliot, did we? I think
so.
Trent was right mid at some point in that game. So I don't think Klopp's averse to that. I think there's a lot of people on Twitter, like I keep saying Twitter, but definitely on Twitter, people saying like we should see Trent right mid, and I kind of get it, because if you have a right back behind him who's going to do the defensive work for him, then I think it would work. But I just think we do, I think like Panovskowski, like I was just going to say that. I think it's a big banana skin if we're not careful. Like we need to be, like you said, the bottom of the league. This team up against the City team, obviously, like I said, the only change is Carvalho and Jota, but it's going to be a completely different test. We're not going to have to contain Forest like we had to contain City and break out from that. We're going to have to take the game to them. And I think with Carvalho and Elliot as our wingers, I think that's a really promising thing, because both young, both raw, both speedy, both good on the ball, both got an eye for a pass, both got an eye for a goal. So I feel like it's a good little insight into our future as well, because they're going to both be here for a long time, aren't they?
Yeah, and I don't mind the talk about Trent coming in and be able to play on the right wing if he's having like Milner or Gomez behind him. If we just think of Gomez as a right back sometimes as well. But I know obviously with the way Liverpool have played and the way Klopp wants to play, having Robertson and Trent as, wing backs with the attacking skills that they have, it gives something else to the way we can actually play, and actually offers a lot of options for the front three or front four or whatever. So, if we play like some kind of 4-4-2, I get if Trent would go on the right wing, but, in other systems, I don't find it as, amusing, if you like, because he has been lacking a little bit of, this like fighting spirit. That's probably because a lot of teams have played behind him, and the loads of goals that we can see have actually come from that from his side as well. So I'm thinking, in a 4-4-2 that would be okay, but in other systems it might be a little bit dangerous. But we'll see. If Milner now plays on right back, obviously, and in the future if Gomez goes out to the right, there's obviously a point to play someone with a really like a world-class right foot to actually, pin balls into Darwin Núñez or whatever. But in the end of the day, I just want to continue with Robertson, Trent as wing backs and the way they've been playing before, just to find a way back to that system or that way of playing, because their assists they gave when we played in 4-3-3, it's just unbelievable, and that's why they were the best in the world in their positions. And I don't want to change that yet. Maybe he could go into midfield a little bit further into his career when he's a little bit older, but not just yet for me. But I understand the idea of it, obviously.
Yeah, I think on paper it works, but and Trent, like you said, played for like the youth teams in centre midfield and stuff, didn't he? Before getting kind of like put into right back, because it was like, where can we get this creative genius into the team? Yeah, put him right back then. So I don't think the defending's ever been his forte. He's always been an attacker, but it was about getting him into the side, and that was the way we did it. And he's became one of the best in the world. He's just gone for a bit of a rough time at the minute, which is hopefully we'll get through it as a team as well. But Dan says, that was my team as well. Didn't think Núñez would start, and Trent sprained his ankle the other week, so is at a higher risk of further injury by overplaying. Yeah, spot on. JJ says, Carvalho was hungry, so it'll be interesting to see how he handles starting. I reckon we will score 4 today. And then fist bump. I'd love that. Absolutely love if that happened. Doug says we hate playing low blocks too. Yeah, that's the only thing, isn't it? Like we just said, like it's going to be, I'm interested to see how they set up. We've got like 3 minutes to wait. We'll see if Neil Williams and whatever. It'd be good to see him playing against us, see what he's made of, because I've seen him a few times this year, and obviously they're not doing that great, but I think he's someone I do want him to do well, to be fair. Dan says Trent obviously has many assets, but his biggest is progressive passing. If he's too high and wide by starting right mid, you completely lose that skill. Dan just dropping truth bombs all over his ear. That's exactly true. Because if he's in a higher position, those gaps that he usually loves and the switches of play and whatever, they're going to be a lot tighter, especially against the low block, because they're just going to, they're just going to be all over that in terms of that. Get that bot out. Oh yeah, look one then. I'll block them. I'll block that one. Get out of here. Get out of here. Get out of here.
Why is it?
Chris, yeah. What's that website? Oh man. So Robertson, in terms of what the West Ham lineup was, so we've got Robertson back in for Tsimikas. Tsimikas got the assist for Nunes, but I just think it's a case of maybe Klopp's going to go, yeah, you play this game, Tsimikas play the next game, Robertson play this game. If it's two big teams in a row, Robertson can play both. If you then drop into a lesser team, it'll be Tsimikas. So I think it's a good problem to have, isn't it, for Klopp, to have two good left backs, two really good left backs.
Yeah. Did you see if the team is out? I just saw there's something about Jones actually starting.
Oh my God, really?
I don't know if it's official. I just saw it on Twitter popping by and then it disappeared. So I thought, it might be out now. So we should probably, just focus on that. If that's is that official?
It doesn't come out till past, I don't think. But I'm happy to search for it.
Yeah, loads of people just tweeting now, like Thiago's out and Jones.
Oh my God, really?
And Jones and Fabinho. Yeah, now it's out, I think. Yeah. Alisson, Milner, Gomez, Van Dijk, Robertson, Fabinho, Jones, Elliott, Carvalho, Salah, Firmino.
Wow.
That's Liverpool tweeting. Official.
Wow. So the actual one we had was completely wrong. Good stuff. Good start.
Yeah. Not too far away, but
it's still not on mine. Am I just being an idiot? Is it on Twitter?
Yeah, this Liverpool FC has tweeted it now. Our lineup to take on Nottingham Forest today, and there's no Thiago on the bench, but there's Henderson, Oxlade, Chamberlain.
You read it out loud because I haven't got it. I haven't got that.
Can't you see it on Liverpool?
It's not loading enough. I've got it.
Yeah.
So it's Alisson, Milner, Gomez, Van Dijk, Robertson, Fabinho, Jones, Elliott, Carvalho, Salah, Firmino. Oh wow! So the only changes that we had, so it's basically Jones in for Thiago, isn't it? That the only change?
Yeah.
And then Thiago's not on the bench. Yeah. Oh, is that an injury?
Yeah, we got Henderson, Oxlade as midfielders together with Bajcetic. And then Trent is on the bench, Phillips on the bench, Tsimikas, Clark, and both Adrian and Keller as well. So 2 goalies.
When there's 2 goalies on the bench, that's when you know that's when you know we're struggling.
It's something with Thiago. I don't like this.
I don't like. I'm just gonna search now and see if there's anything on. Post anything on Thiago,
so no Nunez and no. Obviously Nunez we kind of knew, but then someone just said like no Nunez, no Thiago. I'm not going to be negative though, like other people's like fun, blah blah blah. It's just shit happens. We need to just go and do the job anyway. It's just the way it is. With a lot of injuries like Jota, Diaz, Nunez. It's not ideal at all. But at the end we got players who can still do it. So I'm just going to still be very positive with this game.
It's just Thiago is massive, isn't he? Like he's so massive for us in terms of, like Dan said, like those progressive passes in terms of just getting us higher and up the field. So I've just tweaked the lineup that we got wrong. So it's Alisson in goal, Milner, Gomez, Van Dijk, Robertson. So actually, I think that's a 4-3-3, isn't it?
Yeah, I think so as well.
Because it's gonna be Fabinho in the 6, and then it's gonna be Jones left centre mid, Elliott right centre mid, Carvalho left wing, and then Salah right wing, and Firmino as a striker. I think having he might go Fabinho and Jones as like a 2, but I don't think so. Do you?
Nah, I think Jones now just coming back from injury, and even if he's got a lot of energy, he's not that kind of protecting midfielder as you need if you're playing two. So I think it's more of a 3 with Fabinho, obviously, like the defensive, one. With must be Elliott and Jones in front of him, and then obviously Carvalho to the left, Salah to the right, and Fabinho up front, I think.
Yeah, I've just put it there as that. So Milner, Gomez, Van Dijk, Robertson, and then Elliott, Fabinho, Curtis Jones, Salah, Firmino, Carvalho. So yeah, 4-3-3. It looks like a return to that. You got a knock on the door there, lad?
No, it's
not Thiago, is it?
Exactly. No, it's probably someone above, like in the apartment above, just doing crazy shit on a Saturday.
Yeah. Thiago wants to come watch the match. Is that yours?
Stop doing it. It's a match on.
JJ says I preferred 4-3-3, and it's only keep Forest and LA, and we'll be fine today.
Yeah.
I just think it's just the surprise factor in it. When you'd expect, like, I know Thiago's played a lot lately, to be fair. But yeah,
it might be just a precaution as well. He might just say, I felt something or whatever in training, or just be like, okay, we just don't risk it because we got so many other important games coming up. Don't say, obviously, Forest is also an important game, but it's not the best quality in terms of comparing what we're playing in, against Ajax or in the Champions League or when we're going forward in the Premier League. So it might be that as well. I haven't read anything about him being injured, so it might be just, he's out and we're not risking him.
Yeah,
so it might be a precaution. Yeah.
Paul's just said, Klopp's just on. Obviously, I haven't got the sound on because we're doing this, but he's just said, Paul's just confirmed. He says he's got an ear infection.
For fuck's sake!
So it is an injury, technically.
Well, you have that when you're a kid, and then you probably never have it again. I never had it as an adult, at least.
Oh God! Wow. But yeah, let's just talk about Forest's lineup dead quick. So theirs is confirmed. They've got Henderson in goal. Looks like a back four of Aurier, Cook, McKenna, Neco Williams. Looks like Neco Williams would be left back. I never know if it's a Neco or Nico. I always just go between either or. And then it looks like a 4-3-2-1. So you've got Yates, Freuler, and Cheku Kayate in the midfield, and then a 2 behind. So Teo A1E. I never know how to say that. I always call him Teo. I used to call him Teo. Let's call him Teo. So Lingard and Gibbs White behind Teo. So there's Neco Williams and there's Teo. We've got maybe a mini point to prove today. Obviously being Liverpool, ex-Liverpool players, and you've got Jesse Lingard, ex-Manc. So he's going to want to try and score, isn't he? So
Dean Henderson is also, isn't he?
Exactly. Yeah, I was just going to say. So there's a few there that have maybe want to raise the game a little bit. But what do you think about that lineup?
Well, we should, like I always say, you should never underestimate anyone. And, because they're actually at the bottom and will, have to fight for points. That's what they have to do. But in terms of quality, even if Thiago is out and we have the injuries that we have, I just look at our starting 11 and think that there's so much more quality to be able to win this game, and that's not being disrespectful to Nottingham Forest or anything. When I look at it, their starting 11, like it's only like 4 names I really know of in that team. The others I never really heard of, to be honest, because you're not watching all the games, you're not checking everything, and that's the thing. Like they are not bad players because they play in the Premier League, but when you look at the front 3 of ours with Carvalho, Firmino, and Salah, and you still have a youngster like Elliott and Fabinho in midfield, and with Robertson, Van Dijk. You look at the names and you feel like, we should still be able to do this. Just like JJ said as well, you just need to make sure to put a shift in to actually work, and not just think that we can just do it by going the halfway. We just need to go there and actually do what we can do, and I think that will be fine.
Yeah, exactly. And I just got a few quotes from Klopp just on the team news. He said Nunes feels the intensity of the game muscle-wise, so no chance he could play today. And then he says on Thiago, he got a bad ear infection overnight. The decision was made at 5:15 a.m. Bit of a mad one. So he's obviously been struggling with it for the last couple of days. But yeah,
it's like in a swimming pool with their kids or something.
Yeah, exactly. JJ says in Liverpool, our mum would give us some ibuprofen, cotton wool in our ears, and we'd have to get on with it. Yeah. So yeah, that's obviously. I think the team we add up would have been definitely starting. Obviously, if Thiago would have been fit, but it's just another thing that we're constantly having to change. Like Jota getting injured, Diaz getting injured, Nunes getting injured, Thiago now missing out. And like Dan says, if Jones's fitness is there, you could give that Freya the run around. He's slow as fuck. Yeah, let's fingers crossed. But it's going to be interesting to see how. It's going to be interesting if it's a 4-3-3. I imagine it is because, like you said, that to go with 2 with Jones and Fabinho would be a bit.
Yeah,
might be a bit of a stretch, mightn't it?
Yeah, and even if it would have been like Fabinho, Harvey Elliott as a 2, I just don't see it with them. They're not that kind of players, like they always put a shift in, and we saw that in Harvey Elliott when he played against City. He was working his socks off. But I just think, Fabinho being the defensive midfielder by himself with a very offensive style, the youngster next to him, I don't see it, because I think you rather just go 3 there with him as the sitting one, like just being defensive, and with Curtis Jones and Harvey Elliott being more, creative forward, and obviously with Carvalho and Salah dropping back when we need to defend, obviously. So it feels like a 4-3-3. So yeah, that feels logical to me.
Yeah, I'm just still can't believe.
Probably totally wrong then.
Can't believe he's got an ear infection. Like, if Klopp's doing like pretty lengthy interview here, like, so I'm not hitting any of it, but I'll be interested to see what the quotes are from that. But I think it's a good thing that it's against. I mean, this might be the worst thing you can say, but it's against Forest that we're missing Thiago, because I think we can get by without him. But with, like, people have been saying, like, I've just been looking on Twitter then, like, people saying there's not an attacking player on the bench, which is true, because the bench is Adrian Kelleher, Henderson, Oxlade-Chamberlain's there. That's that's a boost. You've got Tsimikas, Clark, Bajcetic, Phillips, and Alexander-Arnold. So you could bring on Henderson, Oxlade-Chamberlain, and Alexander-Arnold and be a bit more attacking. But I get the point. There's no actual attacker on the bench, which is, I suppose, we have to just get on with it, don't we?
Yeah, and we'll see. Depending on if we're like 2-0 up and there's 20 minutes left, there might be room for Oxlade to come in if we don't need to have someone to change the game for us. Hope not. But I think it's just even people have their opinions on Oxlade-Chamberlain as well. When he came to us from Arsenal, I thought he was great the first like one and a half seasons, something like that, before he got his first injury, and then he had loads of injuries that just kept him out. But he's got that driving force in him. He's taking the ball forward in a good way. He's got his shooting is good as well. I like him as a player, but I think the time has kind of run away from him now. So I think he might not be a Liverpool player next season, but I really like him to just come back to, we need the bodies with all the injuries. We just need bodies to be able to throw into the mix, to be able to help, to rotate and all that. So, I don't mind, that he's back, but he's probably not the first one that I would prefer playing. But if he can come in, if we 2-0 up and he gets his game time, that's Oxlade-Chamberlain. He's not a bad player. He's just not the player that we expect him to play with the likes of Thiago's and all that. So, yeah, it is what it is. But if he comes in doing his job, that's fine.
Yeah, exactly. More bodies that can get re-injured, the better.
Yeah, and I think with Oxlade as well, he's in a position where if he doesn't get a new contract, which I don't think will happen, he needs to put in a shift to show himself off for other clubs as well, that he still got it, that he still can play on this level in a really good team. Then that's for him, for his own sake as well, to actually put in performances for Liverpool, because then he can show other teams that you can come and get me because I'm out of contract and, I can still do this. So, it goes both ways. We want him to put in a shift for the team. He wants to put in a shift for the team and for himself to be able to find a new club if that's the case. So
yeah, shop window time, innit, for Ox. Hannah Scouse says, give Ox 20 minutes. Any more than that, and he'll be off another 3 months.
Yeah, that's the thing you're scared of. That's the thing when you're having a player coming back like Oxlade or Keita, and they actually get on the pitch for like 20 minutes left, and you think like they go in and they go into like a physical game where everything is still quite intense and stuff like that. You're just waiting for one of them kind of players to actually go down injured again, because you're getting used to it. Like you feel a bit anxious about them playing, just like Just a little run. Well, oh shit, he's sitting down. It's a hamstring. Okay, off you go.
Yeah, it's just a shame with that because I think it was the Roma game, weren't it, where that amazing game at Anfield where we beat them, like, was it 5-2, was it? Where Salah and Mane were just amazing. I think he got injured in that game, just went in for a sliding tackle.
Yeah, I was there for that game actually, but I can't remember it.
I think that was the first injury, but that was like the beginning of the avalanche of the injuries where he'd get back and then I don't think he was ever quite the same from there. I think he had spells where he looked good, but like I said, if he can come back, and I saw some of the clips in training where he was just like controlling it and banging it bottom corner. So he's still got that like power in the shot and whatever, but we shall see. Panoscow says I thought it was best to rest Thiago anyway, to be fair. Yeah, it's a good point. He might not have been starting in this one anyway. To be fair, like I said, we're away from home. Ideally, I would have started him just because I feel like we've been on a good run of form with Thiago and the team, and we're winning games and whatever. And this is a tricky one, I think.
And I think also you could see when he went out in against West Ham that the game changed.
Thiago came off.
Straight away it was changed, and we felt like, oh shit, we had control from the midfield and over the whole pitch. Like the first half felt very safe when we played, and we felt dangerous and stuff. But as soon as the 3 substitutions was done, and obviously with Thiago and Nunez going off, a lot of things changed, and I just felt West Ham actually dig their way into the game more and more. And I think that's actually something with Thiago, because he's such a midfield maestro that he controls the game in that way. So when he goes out, we lose something. He just has something really special about his way of playing that keeps us controlling the game, keeping the pace of the game. He controls the short passes, long passes, everything. So that kind of lacks us when he's not playing.
Yeah, definitely. Well, it's going to be interesting anyway. What's everyone's score predictions in the chat? What do you think? What are you thinking now that we've while Kristian just slurps that last bit of bevy there and cracks open another one?
Yeah. they're only they're only like 3.5% of alcohol, so they're not heavy.
Are you sure?
Sure, lad? Just perfect.
Just a little teaser.
Yeah.
Paul says 2-0 to us. Mark says 3-0. Kristian, what are you thinking?
I think Paul has something there with 2-0. I was confident against West Ham. I thought 3-0, and then obviously we scored quite early, and I thought, we will have another one. We could have another one. Today being away and with Thiago out and all that, I'll be happy with 2-0. Just solid performance, score goals, control the game. 2-0, fine, having that. Yeah,
2-0 would be fucking boss, to be fair. Yeah. I think I said the West Ham game, we could have been out of sight with the Nunez chances and that, but we just obviously didn't take the chances, and then they get the pen, and like you said, Thiago and Nunez go off, and it starts to become a bit of a different game. So hopefully we can get a grip of this nice and early, and there's no messing around. JJ says 4-0 for us. I'm very confident today because we have turned the corner and they're crap. I hope they are.
4-0 and a Firmino hat-trick, and the Clippers is on.
Oh, there you go. Yeah, they're here first. Kristian's going to shave it out. Firmino hat-trick, imagine.
4-0 and Firmino hat-trick, then it's on.
I'd fucking love that shit, me. Steve Willows in. Nice one, Steve. All right, boys. Need to get out the blocks here straight away. Early kickoff scare me enough already. Yeah, it's one of them, innit? Like I think that's why I wanted like the best possible lineup, and then when you're missing Thiago, it kind of, you're like, oh fucking hell, because like sometimes even when it's at Anfield, like the crowd's still half asleep, and you just like it just seems like it's never a good game, or I don't know. It's just a trickier game, isn't it? It's a trickier time to win games.
Yeah, and Steven is just, right on the point there. Like we've seen for the majority of the season so far, it's actually that we felt, in games that we just can't get out of the blocks. We just waiting like 15, 20, 30 minutes before something actually happens. I think we talked about it in a review show. I can't remember which one, but just maybe United. I can't remember. Something like that. I just said, why do we have to wait almost like the first half before we actually start running and fighting for it? Like, it's just like we lost loads of time to actually go in and do something. And in this kind of games where you know that, like we said, Nottingham Forest needs to fight for their 3 points because they're in the position at the bottom of the table, Stephen has a really good point that we need to go out and just make sure that we are actually on them straight away and make sure we bring in our game to them. Because if not, then there is a chance that they they can smell a little bit of blood and actually feel like, yeah, we can have something from this game. And I don't want that. I just want us to go out there every game just to show fighting spirit and passion. Like we said before, there's not only always where we play good and play well, and you can moan about that, you can think things about that, but as long as you actually put in a performance of fighting and running and showing that you really want to win, sometimes that can actually I wouldn't say I'm happy if we lose or draw, but I can still respect the performance from players if they tried to do everything they could, but the passes and the game wasn't going the way we wanted, because that can happen. Sometimes it doesn't click. You can still feel like, okay, we still gave a really good fight for this in this game, but we didn't come out with anything from it. But do that from the start, then everything else kind of comes by itself, because you're showing the opposition that you're not just going to go there and just put one boot in. You're actually going to go there and show them that we're going to come in and fight for it.
I think that's changed recently. I think when we were doing those shows and it was like we were questioning the desire, the attitude, the application. We were like, what's going on with Liverpool? I think that's changed, and I think the formation change has helped that a little bit. But then I think we've gone back to 4-3-3 again, which we did for City, to be fair, in part. I think the way we lined up. I think the way we kind of defend now is slightly different, though. I think with more attackers on the field and stuff, and there's more pace to do that, more energy on the wings as well. The likes with Elliott and stuff doing that kind of right hand Salah role. But I think for Forest, I think it's a free hit. Like they're bottom of the league. They've got 6 points. It's a free hit for them. They're expected to lose today. So that's why I think someone said earlier it's like a banana skin, and it is, because we need to be at them from the off, and hopefully we do. But more score predictions. Panascal says 2-0. Dan says 3-1 to Liverpool. Salah, Firmino, and Virgil. Panascal says 5-0. I want to say 5-0, but I haven't got the bottle. And he says we need to play as if we're playing City, otherwise it'll be very edgy. I think exactly that, because like I said, we thought the only change was going to be Carvalho in for Jota, and it's also Jones in for Thiago. So there's 2 changes from the City game. But in terms of we just need to be at it from the off, don't we? And I think we'll be okay. I think it's one of those. Keep saying, if we get an early goal, we'd be sound. Especially in these early games, you need early goal, quieten their crowd down. Because obviously they're back in the Premier League. We haven't played them in the league for I think it's 99. I think we last played them, and it was a 2-2 draw. So I just got them stats on off the top of my head, lad. It was like 99, 2-2, and it was. I think it was like 99, and then 98, 97 we played them. So it's been a while since we last played them in the league. Obviously, we played them in the road to FA Cup glory last year. Jota got the only goal. So even when they were a championship side, it was still a tricky game. So I expect more of the same. But we don't usually do this, but I thought we'd have a little quick chat about the other games, because there's Everton on. Everton, Crystal Palace, City and Brighton, and Chelsea, Man United at R5. I think the Chelsea Man United one, that's going to be a tasty one, isn't it?
Yeah, 0-0 sound.
I'd take a Chelsea win there, because if Chelsea win and if we win today, we go above Man United on goal difference. So I just for that alone. But I get what you mean. A draw would be nice, just to kind of keep pace with both of them. But we need to do our job first, don't we? To be fair.
Yeah, and I kind of like it. Well, if Chelsea win, they're at homes. If they win, I like Graham Potter as well. After his time in Sweden, and I like the way he's progressed in his career and stuff. But I just like other teams winning against Ronaldo United. So that that's the that's the thing. They're in a bit of a mess at the moment. So just keep on making them a mess. Just keep
piling the misery on. Doug says Pierre Van Hooijdonk equaliser that day. What a player, man! What
a name! And what a name! I just love it.
What was that name when he was on the Ajax preview? It was like von Schnitz, von Lieben or something. It was just
Van den Donkeldinker. I can't remember.
Donkeldinker. Yeah, it was something like that, wasn't it?
17-year-old youngster in Ajax, yeah, with a great name.
Dan says, hope Vieira drops a few more of the bitters.
Yes, come on.
Everton are at home, so yeah. I mean, I put Wilfred Zaha in my fantasy team because I had an injury to someone, I can't remember. And I just thought, who's playing against Everton? Palace, Zaha. There we go, easy.
Yeah.
Hopefully he bangs one in. JJ says, Chelsea versus Man U will be a good game. Everton may struggle against Palace. I think they will struggle, to be fair. And then you've got Man City at home to Brighton, and Brighton only turn up against us. It seems like I saw a stat on Twitter the other day, and it was they scored 3 and 3 against us, 3 goals and 3 shots, and then they haven't scored in the last 57 shots. It's just like, that's just typical, isn't it? That's just typical, like Liverpool stats, isn't it?
Yeah, and it'll probably turn out today that Man City will probably go win 3-4-0.
They'll batter them.
Problem. Yeah, and that's the thing. You sit and hope, Brighton, but they've been good there at the top of the top half of the table and have done well. And then you're thinking there might be something out of it, but then it's just turned out that Haaland scored another hat trick, and that's it. So,
yeah.
But what
captain.
I don't know if you're done with all the teams, but the games that are played today. But what's your take on Steven Gerrard? Though we haven't, talked about. I just thought maybe we could just, give a comment on that.
Yeah, I think it was coming, like, weren't it? To be fair, I think they've got their aspirations, like, top 7? They probably want to go for, don't they? And they're currently, where are they in the league? They're currently 17th. Like. Yeah. And they got beat by, was it Fulham, wasn't it? 3-0. I think that was just a nail in the coffin. I think he had them playing the right way, and the midfielders had them playing in the right way. But I just feel like it maybe wasn't the best fit. But I mean, it's just one of them. Like, if you give someone time, he might have turned out like good. But you don't get time, especially at teams like that where they want something. They want definitely top 10. And if you're like toiling like 17th and you're on how many points? 9 points. They're on the same as Leeds and Wolves and a point behind Everton. Then that's not. It's not good enough, is it? Really?
No, it's not good enough. And I just because of Steven Gerrard, you feel for him. And exactly. But I thought it was a good good level of a team that he went to from Rangers. And I thought if he gets the time, he would do good. And I think the players and the team that he has, like they have had problems with scoring goals. But I just think with Coutinho and Ings and Watkins and the other fellas running on the wings, I can't remember their names now, but they're quite skillful and it's quite a good team on the paper, to be honest. And I just thought, sometimes it takes a bit of time and you have to go through a bad spell of form. But it's just one of them, when you're down there in an actual relegation battle with where they are at the moment, and you can't find, the wins, and you just actually you lose against Fulham 3-0. Like it feels like just the performance from the team is just, the self-confidence is just gone. And maybe the belief in Steven Gerrard was gone as well from the players. I don't know.
I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. I just feel like he was getting had off by like Tyrone Mings, just scoring own goals, and he's just they bought the what's his name, the big money signing, was it Carlos? He got an injury, didn't he? Like quite early on into his career, so I think that didn't help. And having to play Mings is just obviously it's gonna fuck up anyone's team. He's just absolutely garbage, isn't he? But I thought he'd done well with the likes of Jacob Ramsey and stuff, like a midfielder. He just gave him license to run forward, and he was just scoring. He scored.
What's his name? Douglas or whatever his name is. Is he
Douglas Luiz?
Yeah.
It's another good player.
Yeah. So and the Scottish one as well.
John McGinn.
Yeah, exactly. But they're not bad. But I just don't remember. I just remember he was being. And he was linked to Liverpool as well.
I was just waiting for you to go on the Brazilian one as well, Coutinho. Yeah, and the English one, Danny Ings. Yeah.
Exactly.
Dan says, remember Ricky van Wolfswinkel? That is a name. Was great in the Netherlands. Flopped at Norwich. Yeah, it was a good name, to be fair. Perslow, no surprise, has them in a mess. Fan base have delusions of grandeur. Yeah, I mean, it's one of those, and it's like Newcastle. It's like before the takeover, it's like a big team. Like they want to be like top 7, top 6, top 5. and I just don't think they need major investment to get there. But Jay's in. Jay, if I was off work with an ear infection, I'd get laughed at. I think, yeah, we just been saying that before. Jay, to be fair, I think JJ in the comments said like you just get a bit of olive oil down your ear and get some cotton buds and you'd be sound. Take some ibuprofen. It's like it is a bit of a mad one. That I want to.
It must be a really bad one. Just
be.
like not just ear infection. Must be a really bad like infection overall. Like it's feeling really really shit. Like maybe with fever as well because then obviously you can't play. Because if it's just like an ear infection, you feel like you should be able to play. But if it's got the fever, like and really, that's another thing, I guess.
I know, just a shame, innit? Because I think he would have been very useful today. But lad, let's before we go, so score predictions. What are you thinking? You thinking 2-0? And if anyone else in the comments has to give you score prediction, then please do before we go.
Yeah, I was 2-0, and I'm thinking 2-0 and Salah and I'll say Firmino. Firmino scores.
Nice. Yeah, Panascal says ear infections can affect your balance though, which is true. So I imagine it's a pretty bad one, to be fair. But I get what Jay's saying. Like, if it's just like something minor, you're just like, oh fucking hell, just pop a few paracetamol, you'll be all right. But yeah, hopefully another clean sheet. Obviously, kept a clean sheet against City, kept a clean sheet against West Ham, thanks to the heroic Alisson Becker and James Milner. So I'm hoping for the same. To be fair, I think 2-0. I think 2-0 sounds good. To be fair, because if we win today, we have 11 games, 19 points. But then only 4 points behind Man City. I know they're going to go and absolutely twat Brighton and be another 3 points ahead. But I think it's just one of those. If it's easy as just go and win some games, get some points on the board, start playing well, and it'll just kind of start to knit together. Especially when it's so early in the season. Like Twitter's just been rife with like people going, "Oh, Liverpool title race over," and I think Klopp kind of conceded it, didn't he? I can't remember after what game, but
Arsenal, I think.
He's bound to say that, isn't he? Because he wants to take the pressure off everyone. He wants us to just kind of slowly build ourselves back up to
exactly.
Because we've been a shadow of ourselves. Before the recent wins, we were a shadow of ourselves, so we need to get back to that.
Yeah, and it's like you said, I think as well, like if we just focus, like we always say, like game by game, but to be honest, now at the moment, just actually to go and win games, just look at the next game, go and try to win that. And with the City win and against West Ham now, and now going away against Nottingham, and it's obviously, like we said, at the bottom of the table, we have a really good chance to just make it a, third win in a row. So that's good for self-confidence, and that's good to build on points. And it's like you said, if Chelsea drop points and City would drop points, we're getting closer and closer, and it's not that many points then. So, if we win today, obviously, a spot for the Champions League is really, really on, obviously. It's no point to, put that away. But, it might be hard to, reach to the level of the title race. Then we need to continue winning the games throughout before the World Cup. But if we win today and like Chelsea drop a point or whatever, we're just a few points behind them for the fourth spot or whatever. So come on, let's do it.
Up the Reds.
Yeah. I just saw something on Twitter here where someone said, Thiago Aquilani. It's a little bit funny. It was a little bit funny.
Come on. Yeah. I get what it means, like injuries, but like,
yeah, I know, but I thought it was a little bit funny.
I'm still haunted by that fella though, because he was like our Alonso replacement, and he was like, I think I went to one of the games he scored. I think Portsmouth he scored a goal. Might have been his only Premier League goal actually, and he scored decent. And I was like, oh, this is the start of Alberto Aquilani. Yeah. Turned out not, just getting like fucking shit.
I remember
injuries.
That as well.
Injuries every week, just really bad, weren't it? Yeah. Dan says sticking with 3-1, but did have a dream we won 6-0. Oh my god, let's hope that comes true.
You never know,
man. So just like quickly, like in terms of like, so if we win today, we'll be amazing. We've then got Ajax away on the 26th, Leeds at home, and then Napoli at home, Spurs away, Derby at home, Southampton at home. So the last game before the World Cup's actually the Southampton game, isn't it? So that gap between Southampton and Villa, which is Boxing Day, it's gonna feel like, I don't know, it's gonna feel like about 6 months, isn't it? Even though it's only a month.
Yeah, normally you always look forward to a World Cup because it's in a summer and it's not in a country like Qatar. We can leave it there. What my opinions on that, but it's just if I just go to myself, feeling my personal feelings about the World Cup, it should always be in a summer because I'm nostalgic. So I just like to feel like when it was like you were a kid, you went out after the games and played football with your friends on the street or on a pitch just close to where you lived, and just had that feeling of summer, being out of school. It's World Cup on. I just don't like the idea of a World Cup in the winter. So for me, with that break from long break from Premier League football feels really, really shite in a dark time in Sweden where it's like November, December, everything is just dark for ages. The whole day is like dark and boring. So that's when Premier League keeps above the surface and go through before spring comes back. So I'm not looking forward to that break, even though it's football on, to be honest.
Yeah, I know. I'm just gonna have to make the most of it. I think I'll be going to the Leeds game. Hopefully, go to the Southampton game when you're over as well, which will be
Yes.
good.
Yes.
Jay says the only time Aquilani is ahead of any other player is alphabetically. Yeah, that's the best place we can leave this podcast because we've just hit exactly 1 hour as well. Still got quite a few people in the chat as well, which is boss. So if you are still watching, then do hit the like. I don't know. Actually, this one won't be going on audio, so I won't give the audio spiel because there's no point because it won't go on there because it's too late. By the time it goes up, it'll be too late. No one will have time to listen to it. So just be on YouTube, this one, and then we'll obviously do the Nottingham Forest review or reaction at some point. Maybe tomorrow or later today. We'll see what happens. If Jay's still watching, if you're available, just text me. I never like bothering you in case you're busy. So just text me. Let me know if you're free. Let me know that you still love me. But yeah, let's just hope the Reds can do it. We've only got 26 minutes till kickoff.
Yay.
So yeah, I think it's a nice little 2-0. Keep the run going, even if it's 1-0. Just a win. Just win.
Yeah.
Any means necessary. But I think a nice little 2-0 would be nice. Just to have a bit of a cushion rather than like a nervy 1-0. Because the West Ham game, it was on my birthday, and I was just like, oh my god, they're gonna score. Like towards the end when Nunes and Thiago came off, I was like, these are gonna ruin my birthday. But they didn't, thankfully. Paul says beer time now. JJ says 1, lads. Up the fucking Reds, enjoy. So yeah, nice one everyone in the comments. You've been absolutely lovely there. That was good. That was a nice. It was an hour, but it felt like 10 minutes. We just flew through that. But yeah, we'll be back very soon, and hopefully the Reds can do the business against Forest and get us higher up that table. But yeah, nice one everyone. Nice one Kristian, and yeah, up the Reds.